Okay, we are streaming. I think. Check the stream. Yes, we are. Good. Alright, so we're back to continue our stream from earlier. So just to kind of recap, what we're going to be doing tonight for the rest of the stream is building a tool that I can use to more easily produce the output for this crap in a way that's more randomized than just doing it by hand, because doing it by hand is way too annoying. And everything really shouldn't be kind of the same. And the way this is set up is that on level 99, every class will have this happening to it. Don't want that to happen. The only way to make it more randomized without doing everything by hand and changing where things happen at, and it becoming an veritable catastrophic mess and taking 5 weeks to complete, because there's a lot of stuff here to do, as you can see, is to build something to do it for me in a more random way. So, and just to recap, this table is the table in the database that determines what the base HP and SP are for each class, depending on the base level. So, this is the HP and SP before any server customizations are added on, and before any attributes and equipment or anything like that plays into it as well. So far we get the main structure part of it down and the input, data input. And what we're going to be working on now is the actual logic that will produce the stuff. So we're in the middle of building this function here, which is going to tell us what type of event is going to happen on this particular level that we're reaching. How this will work is that there'll be a max level, and this loop will continue until that max level value I1 equals I1, which is set to the value of the max level, becomes 1, because at 0 it will break out of the loop. Each iteration will decrease the I1 value, will also decrease the next level event value. So what will happen is that based on two other input values, min level range rand and max level range rand, we'll produce a random value that will signify that within the next however many random levels that are processed, we want to have an event. And that's when it hits 0 is when that will happen. When it becomes -1, after that run through, then we'll set a new value and it'll loop again through until it reaches 0 again, and it'll process this function again, which will tell the code what level event to process. So whether we're going to increment the value, increase the increment value, so that is the value that's going to be added to the HP or SP value per level. So every level this value gets added to it to increase it. So we'll either increase or decrease that, or we'll give a small, large, or medium boost to the actual HP or SP value specifically. So that could be, and that's also based on a random range, which we have as input values up here somewhere. Or no. That actually, you know what? That is probably a good thing. It probably should be a range, to be honest. That way it's not, the same amount every time. That is a good idea. I think we'll do that. It's not good in terms of, we have to friggin' add more variables and more input, but such is the nature of these kinds of programs. So we'll just grab all these, copy them, and paste them down below. And we'll change this to min on all of these. Not MNI, min. Capitalize the first character. Whoops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Too many delete presses. And these will become max. This way it's a little bit more randomized. And of course we'll also need to change these. And base min, and base min. Actually that min should be capitalized, because it's part of the name of the function. Name of the variable, rather. I just want to check something really quick, because I heard my earphones go click, and I want to see if they're fracking up. Yep, okay, good. I haven't had them do weird crap for a while now. Like during the rest of your stuff, where they just all of a sudden stopped working, and there was like no audio or something on the recorded videos because the stream, not the stream, the Bandicam was set to use the headphone output as its main audio source. No audio in the video. So that was a whole interesting kind of thing that happened with that. Oh, that's OV. No wonder it didn't look the same. I was thinking, what the hell happened? Here we go. Men. So we have to change these as well to men capital S, men capital M, men capital L. And then we need to take these, copy them, and paste them, and turn them to max instead of min. Okay, alright, max, max, and max. Actually, well, probably, well, in. Yeah, there's another in here. Never mind. I was going to just change all INs to AXs, but then we'd have ax crease and I don't know how to pronounce it, AXC. Some kind of craziness. So we'll just do it manually. That's weird. I did it right here, but none wrong here. Alright, so we got all this set up now. So, we need to basically do, well, what we'll do is to void levels, and so we have there's a variable, well, we'd have to pass it through because it's not a global. So what can we do? I thought there was a variable in here somewhere called event type. Here it is. These two, yeah, these two there. So I guess I could pass them through as pointers, but I really don't want to do that. What can we do? What can we do with these? Maybe we call them individually. Yeah, okay, that's how we'll do it. So we'll return an int. So we'll return an int, and we'll only process it based on one. So instead of having both here, we'll just say EV type rand, and we'll return it as the type to here, and then we'll have that set for when we do this. Okay, that works. So and we'll need another function to actually increment the values, maybe, probably, because what will happen is that instead of having the code twice, because we have to put it here and here, we'll just create an external function to call and then return back a value after doing the processing on the whatever we're passing into it to set the HP and SP values each iteration. Another thing we have to, well, no, I guess we don't have to. We can use that because we're using a vector, so we'll just keep adding the same value into the vector once we update it. That should be fine. So EV type rand, so basically it's off of a 1 to 50 chance. So so let's do this in order of where they should end up. So small value increase should be more likely. We'll say that 1 to 20. So we'll give it a 20% chance. Well, it's not really 20, it's out of 50, so it's half, so it's actually a 10% chance. Next should be decrease, but we'll have to add in some logic that says if the increment value is 1, we don't decrease it to 0. Well, should it be 0 sometimes? I guess it could be 0 sometimes. But at the same time, if you're doing like really long stretches with large level range, random range, that could be a problem, because what could happen is you could end up with like maybe 20 or 30 levels without any increase in HP. For the ones that should be like that, though, like the novice and to a lesser extent novice, high novice, those we could do by hand because it's only like 2 classes, so it's easier to do that than to do everything like that by hand. But yeah, I think we will move this. Whoops. So this should go, but just go here. I think this is probably about where we want it. So this will be the order of them. Now we just need to assign the values in terms of the. Well, let's see. 1 to 50, 10% would be. Yeah, 25% is half. So that's actually more than that. That's closer to 48 or 49%, to be honest. That's true. So I'll just say 48%, so I'm not exactly sure. I could calculate it up, but I'm not going to. So about 0.5% chance of getting a small value increase. So 21 through 32, we'll say. So that's like, what, 11? Yeah, let's go ahead and let's actually calculate it, because it'd be nice to have an actual correct value thing here. Mapping of the percentages. So let's just go ahead and see what exact percent this is. So 40%, yeah, it's actually 40. All right. So then what about 11? 22%. Okay, that goes about where I wanted it to, about 22%. Now, so median value increase should be 32 through, or 33 through, let's say, 42. That's 40, 38, we'll say. That's about 5. So that'll probably be like 10% or something. So I think it should be 10%. Or 50%. Oh, out of 10, whoops. I said 10% and I put in 10%. 10%, yeah. So 10%. So we have currently 50, 60, 72% accounted for. Which means we have another 18 to apply. So let's say 38 or 9 through 43. So that's what, a 4? Well, it should be, okay, this should be more than the last one, though. So I think we need to bump this up to 35. And then 5 to 40, oops, to 41. And then 41 through 46. Alright, so that's going to be 12, 14. So let's get 14. What is that? 14 divided by 50 is 28%. Okay, this is 6. So, whoops. 12%. And that's 5, which we said was 10%. Hopefully I'm still streaming. I am. Good. 8%. Now let's see. We got 68, 70, 80, 90. So there's that's 4 left. So that's 5. That's 6. That's 20, that's 14. Okay, so then let's see what 4 divided by 50 is. 8%. So unless I'm mistaken, we've broken statistics here. Okay, so 20 by 50 is 4, yeah, that's right. 14 by 50 is 28, that's right. 6 by 50 is 12, that's right. And 4, that's 5, that's 10%, and then 8%, which would be 47 through... Oh wait, that would be 3, not 4. %. So still don't think adds up to 100 somehow. 40 plus 28 plus 10 plus 12 plus 6 equals 96. We have lost 4% somewhere. Where'd it go? So that's definitely 14. That's definitely 6. This is definitely 5, and this is definitely 3. Huh. Oh well, we'll go with that. This 4% will be nothing, I guess. If EV type rand is greater than or equal to 1, and less than or equal to 20, then we'll pass a value through. Else if 21 to 35, 36 to... Oh, that's where it's at. This is supposed to be 6, not 5. And this is supposed to be 2, not... Damn. Okay. That's where the 4% went. So, it's actually 5 and 3. No, 5 and 4. So this one is 10%. And this one's probably like 8 or something. 50 is 8%, yeah. Okay, and then that should be, let's see, so 50, 88, 94, 100, yeah, there we go. That works. Alright, so this again would be now 41, and this is 42 to 46. And then one more for the final. Also, if we can just say if it's greater than 46 and leave it at that. Alright. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Return 0. Turn 1. Turn 2. Return 3, and return 4. I like the fact that IntelliSense recognized that, this would catch everything. At least I think it did. Otherwise it should be showing that error still. Or IntelliSense could just still be freaking out and it's not reporting things correctly. It's either or, really. Oh, that could be why. Yep, that was why. And yes, does not return. Wait, I cannot. Oh, it will give that error once I fix the more immediate error, which is to turn this to an int. Now it should give me a. It should be well. It'll be a warning. No, maybe not. I don't know. Thought it should have. So we call this. So this will be HP level HP event type equals this and pass it rand, and then same thing except SP. All right. Now we need the other function, which is going to be processing everything. So we'll need to pass through a couple values. Well, a lot of values, really. So let's say int, so we'll sending back an int. Process level. It's process level. So we're going to pass through an int evt type, event type. Going to pass through int. You know, I really would like to just do this. It'd be nice to do this as a range. At the same time, though, that means more variables, because this would store the input, and then we'd use that stored input to create the range out of. It would mean less passing through here, but it would mean more work down here. Well, let's go ahead and do that. I think we could do that. We go ahead and put in the header file real quick for range. And I don't think we need to do a source file for this. Could be wrong, but we'll check to be sure. So yeah, I don't see a range there or anywhere. Where the hell? That is interesting. Is it part of utils? Or is this an old version of the Pocket Economy? Print string. This might be an old version of it, though. I'm not sure how that can happen. Let's go to settings. Or settings. Oh yeah, definitely. This is an old one. There's no settings in here. Yeah, this is an old version. Let's close that and try to find the correct one. Projects. That's interesting. I guess we'll have to open up a new one. Unless it's, let me see. It's not open. Yeah, I might have done something to update it, so. Documents. Studio. 2017 projects. Pocket Economy. Oh yeah, that's what I had open. That's weird. There's no settings file. Oh, I know why. I actually hadn't input a lot. That's okay. I was opening the wrong thing. It was this one. We need to open this. There we go. This is more like it. Okay, here's the range. We're just gonna need the int, but I'll bring everything over for now. Just remove what we don't need. Easier that way. All right. For non-high-low ranges, which I don't know why that's there for. Because it's supposed to be just for ranges, but apparently I was using it for something. Alright, do we need a source file? We do not. Good. Alright, that's what I was hoping for. Alright, we shall include range in this. And then we'll just build the ranges here real quick. So, oh, right. Let me open that again, actually. Because I modified the random to take a range, I think. Which would be very useful now. Well, it used to be there. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, did I move it over? I moved over to utils. That's what happened to it. At least I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Range split string. Get I right now I didn't. Okay, then that will actually create something, and I can bring it back over to help with that. Range. Or random, I mean, not range. Get I range, get F range. Int get. Now let's change this to rand instead of range. That's kind of no clue why it says range for get, because I want to do this get I rand from range, and then pass to a range RNG. So I'm going to confuse them that way. I'll need to add range in here. Which means I will not need to include it here because we're including rand, and rand already has it defined. Random mode is defined, so we will be good. Oh, I know why I was saying that. Derp. That's good, I rand. F rand. Okay, so return std uniform real distribution. So rng.I low, rng.I high, gen. Okay, and there we go. Now we just need to pass through the range. That can be very useful. So we'll need to fix this because this is going to be. Actually, we could just make this a range period. And only pass through the range. It's point of preference. I mean, it's just less things to pass around, and these are little bit less long, but I don't really see a reason why to do that right now. The reason I want to do it with this, though, is because otherwise we'd be passing through like 9 or 10 different parameters, and I don't want to deal with all of them that way. Let's pass through the range that we'll make with them, and then be able to go from there. So everything that was. So what do we need ranges for? Anything that has a min and a max. So these right here. I guess it only would have been 6. Still, 6 plus whatever else we had to pass through, I should say. So we'll have to pass through the multipliers. So that's 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, the event type is the event type. So at least 11 or 12 different parameters. This way we'll just do 8 or 9 or something. 4 or 5 or something like that. So range. Small val inc range equals range. Medium val inc. And large val inc range equals range. So now once those are all done and over with, we will do the setting here. So sm val range.iLow equals small then small semval. Range.iHigh equals max small Okay. Now that we got the ranges, we'll pass through the ranges. So this will be a range. So small val inc range mid val inc and range large val inc. We'll need to pass through the multis. So int LRG, should the multipliers be randomized? No. Because if we did that, they would be so small it wouldn't matter. It'd be like 2 to 3 or 2 to 4 or something instead of, and that's just what we're going to be using anyways, 2, 4, and so on. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. Large val, multi, and mid val, multi, and small val. Pass through the J level, job level. Job ID. And what else do we need? I think that's it. Oh, and random. Okay, so first things first, the event type. So, if, rather, it might be better to do a case on it actually, to be honest. A switch rather. Okay, so case 1, or well 0, which is small val inc. 1 will be inc val decrease. Ooh, okay. So if we're going to be changing the increment or decrement value, that's HP Inc. rate, SP Inc. rate. How do we update those without returning them as well? I guess we could. pass them through as a reference and use a pointer on the, so let's say int HP, or int pointer HP ink rate int. I have to try and avoid doing this because it's kind of messy, but since it's not going to be released, who cares really? Now, ink value decrease, med value increase. So med val ink. Ink val increase. And then large val ink. Okay, so int sm val base equals rand dot get I from range, and that'll be sm val ink. Then we need to use that and add it to the job ID divided by so if we don't do this, we'll get a division by 0 error because compilers don't like to divide by 0. So if j ID is not equal 0, because novice is 0, but well, it wouldn't matter because we're not going to put novice in here anyway, so never mind. We don't need that. Never mind. Sm val base plus equals JID divided by okay, let me also do, let's do this. Int what do we call this though? Multiplier, multi boost, I guess, but I don't know. Let's call it that. Equals sm val base multi times, or rather not times, divided by. It's not really a multiplier either. It's actually a divisor. I'm not sure why I said multiplier. So JID divided by that. So if true, and if false, 0. That should work. This way we can determine if this is 0 because this is like for example, if this is 1 and this is like 2 or 20 or something, and it produces a produces a decimal value, a 0 point whatever value, basically a percentage value, then we can just use 0 instead of having it do weird things. So that's the base value, adding it to that, and then we will return I need to add one more pass through here, which will be the value that we're actually working with. So int update val. Then update val plus equals sm val base. This way we can actually return it from down here. Actually, this will just be inc rate. Actually, we'll just call it inc rate instead of passing both through, because we'll pass through one or the other. We'll pass them through separately, so we won't have to do it that way. So I'll just pass through whichever one it is. We also have to make sure we do that down here. Now. In this case, what we're going to do is, this plus the inc rate. Almost forgot. Need to include that. So some val base, which is, let's just call it val base instead of sm val base. That way we can use this as God, fine. Just want to do it this way. You can't do other arithmetic when you're doing on a plus equals, apparently. Okay. Really? What's with it? Oh, because it's a pointer. Just have arithmetic or an unscope enum type. That's interesting. Oh, I know why. It probably would have worked down there, actually. I just had to add in, it's supposed to be a pointer, so you have to add the pointer in. Actually, it should be an and, I think. No, maybe it should be a pointer. I'm trying to remember from memory how that's supposed to go to make it update. Having to pass it back. Let's see if it works or not. Next on this one, though, so basically all we're going to do is this, essentially. First, though, before we do that, and actually not before, we're not going to do that part either. All we have to do with this, though, is then say inc rate if, okay, inc rate equals inc rate if true, then, and if false, then just say 0, or say inc rate. Alright, so either it will set ink rate to -1 of what it currently is, or it will just set it to what it is if it's already at 1. And then we'll use the new ink rate and update the update value based on that with the without the val base, because we won't need that. Let's see. It was basically just going to do basically the same thing for the increase, but we won't have to do the other stuff. We'll have to do this. We'll just say plus plus. And for the other stuff, we'll just copy this down and change the values. Oh, LRG. Okay, multi-boost is updates plus the increment rate. Good. Then return the update value. Now we need to actually call this thing. Plus equals process level. So the type, which will be level HP event type. Then the update val, which is start HP val. SM range MD val range large and the job ID, which would be job ID. Rand, and then HP ink rate, which will pass through as a reference. Okay. Then start SP val. We do need a default actually. The default will just be this. I'll pass it like a -1 or something. I hope that doesn't cause craziness to ensue with the with the switch. Shouldn't, but I never tried putting negative values into a switch before. I just don't remember ever trying to. Next we'll do a count. It's for testing purposes here. before and after. Alright, let's see if it actually will need to return 0. Lowercase s, I think. Alright, so let's go ahead and try and build this and see if we have any errors. And we have a few. Does not take 11 arguments. Invalid template argument for uniform real distribution requires one of flip, double, or double long. Oh, duh. And it doesn't take 11. That's interesting. So... oh. Right. I did not change it up here. There we go. Okay, I think that should build. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and test this out. So max level, we'll say 10. Starting HP, we'll say 1. SP 1. Job ID 0 for novice. Increment rate value 1. SP 1. Small, we'll call it 58. Min medium 100. And min large 250. For the max, 75, 162, and 325. Enter base small increase multiplier value 2. 4 and 8. Min level, we'll say 3 and 5. So 1, 1 to 3, 3. So obviously it hit the increase increment. So it became plus 15. Oh, yeah, it's going out of control. Because when we hit one of these, we need to set the level. We need to, yeah. What's happening is that when we're hitting these large value increases or value increases period, the level, it's going through every level doing it until we hit another event. For these ones, the event has to be reset to -1 right away. Or rather, basically has to be redone right away. Here we go. So we go through this, we do it. So if it equals -1. So 0, -1 hits another one. Okay, yeah, no, we need to redo this part. Or not this part, but we need to set this to 0 at the end of this, so that we reset these. So we're not calling these every time. Well, no, that's not really right. Oh no, yeah, it is right because it's we're passing this. No, we're not passing this every time. We're only passing it here. Here we're saying -1. Okay, we'll need to take a look at what. Let's see. Let's do a count here. Level HP. Event type. Okay, and then in here, let's actually go ahead and add some val base. Let's add some extra context here so we actually know what's what. So we're gonna have a lot of values now. So HP pre-update. And SP pre-update. Obviously same thing, but post-update. So then this will be HP event type. This just allows us to see a little more clearly what's actually going on. So that was kind of an insane level, insane ramping up there for the values I entered. Well, it was 1 to 5 though, I should say that. That's true, so I might need to think about having the increases be a bit lower because it could happen more often. Alright, max level 10. Let's enter all this in again. 1, 1, 0, starting increment rate 1 and 1. So min will be 10. 50 and 70. Max will be 25, 60 and 85. 2, 4 and 8. Min level range, let's say 2 and 5. Alright, so that's interesting. So there was no event, but it increased by 2. It should only be 1. So what's going on? So plus equals increase. So 1 plus 1 should be 2. Unless I'm mistaken. Unless math has drastically been changed over the last couple weeks. Same thing here. And we'll need to put this here. Okay. Let's start again. Alright, 10. 1, 1. You might be wondering why I'm putting HP value in as 1. Well, for 1, on the current server settings, the HP ends up being 3000. So 1 is just it's a value that's then multiplied and changed based on what everything else happens with it in the server configuration and whatnot. Starting HP increment value rate 1 and 1. Small increase value 10, 50, and 70. And then 25, 60, and 85. 2, 4, and 8. 2 and 5. Alright, ink rate is 1. Ink rate is 1. 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 should be 2. So, update val, what's with that? Alright, so, ink rate is 1. When that is that, so question then becomes that equals 2. Good. That's what it should be. That should be 2. And wow, we got an even different value. So update val is now not showing anything for update val. But we're getting 4 and now 3. I love funny math. Oh, well, the reason it's not showing anything is because it's not actually printing out anything. That would help. I have a feeling that this asterisk is causing issues or something. So maybe it's doing a multiplication or something for some reason, and that's not going to like that because it's not a reference, it's a pointer. Which is why I didn't do it in the first place. Should not really matter. Still 3 and 4. Or 4 and 3, whichever. Still, still is like, what? Wow. Okay. I think it might be, for some reason. So val will be whatever it is plus this. Let me just change this to 1. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a test here. Oh hell, I screwed that up big time. Nope, still doing it even with it set to just plus equals 1. That is very strange. Oh, I know why. I said plus equals instead of equals. I'm betting anything that's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay. Not a problem. There's a problem up there. So I don't really care about that one. I do care about the rest of these though, so we're gonna be able to check those as we go through. Alright, save it. And let's do this again. 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 10, 20, 30, 20, 30, 40, 2, 4, 8, and 2 and 5. Alright, so that works just fine. Alright, so 2 and 1. So the HP event is to increase the increment value. No. Yes. No, yes, maybe. Who knows? The hell. So 2 is increment, and 1 is to add the small value. However, it looks like those got reversed somehow because we're getting 37 and 7 here. It should be 7 and 37, I think. Oh, no, that's right. So it started out as 6. This should be 8, though. So that is a problem there because we're supposed to be increasing it by 2. Yeah, here we go. Post inc rate, pre and poster 1. It should be 1 then 2. So the post inc rate is, so this isn't working. Oh no, that's right, because 1 is 2 is decreased. Never mind. I have no clue what I'm talking about. Now what about the other thing, which is that this seems to be backwards. So HP event rand SP event type rand. So it said 2 and 1. Start HP val equals start HP val. Yeah, that's correct. Inc rate SP inc rate. So why does this seem to be backwards? Oh wow. These did not get closed. All right, so 2, 6, and 6, 2, and 1. So SP event type is 1. Yet HP event type is 2 because... Oh, wait. Yeah, no. 2 and 3. It's 0 indexed. So HP event type is 4, which is medium. Gotcha. And that is event type 1, which is decrease. Okay. Yeah. Never mind, it's working right. That's the way it should be. So next level. Cool. Seems to be working. Alright, so let's try this in an actual setting here. Well, actually, we need to finish what we're doing. Finish off all the other functionality, which is to output the save to a vector, then output the vector to a file. Need to get rid of all these counts. So they are no longer needed. I shouldn't say they're no longer needed, but I've determined that everything seems to be working correctly. Because if the code for one of these works, it'll work for every of the other ones in terms of the this updating and this as well. So the main question was the ternary functions, if those will work properly or not. And they do. So now we have 2 vectors. One is HP, one is SP. HP vals, SP vals. So at the beginning of each run through this, we want to set those to get the current state of the value. So HP vals.add start HP val. Pushback, actually. Thinking of lists for various languages. Okay, and then once it's all done, I'm going to do an OS stream. And I believe it takes a file path. That could be wrong. Let's see. Logging. Where is it? Does it exist? First of all, yes, it does. All right. So, okay, just out of string path. We don't have to do the equals whatever. So file, then the path. Or so I thought. So might need to add these. OF stream's already there. So what does it not to like about this? Const care path. Oh, it has to be a const care. Okay. So CSTR of the string. Yeah, it doesn't kind of like that. Still, incomplete type is not allowed. What am I missing? Did I define it as well up here somewhere? So, F stream. It wasn't just IO stream. Derp. That's probably it. Yeah. So, upstream, so for each, or it's just a for, then int HP in HP vals. So string HP string HP string plus equals HP plus comma. So then we need to say HP string dot let's see, is there trim in? So I'm gonna do C++ string trim. What the hell? They moved parts of the standard library in C++ 17. Wow. Have lambadas. So, trim for an end. R trim. So, does that erase? Let's see, dump again. That's defined if. Character. Return standard is space character. Or return not. Alright, let's just try substring. Which I know there is, so it's, yeah, the variable.substring 3.5. So we'll just say begin to n minus 1, or length minus 1, or n minus 1, I guess could work too. Fastest way to do it for these purposes. So HP string equals HP string dot sub string HP string dot begin to HP string dot end minus 1. So that chops off the trailing right. We're using, this is a string, not a crap. Alright, we need to change this a bit. There we go. So I'll chop off the last thing there, and then we want to add in and then do the same thing for SP. And then O file. And that should do it. Let me go check that against what we have over here. Oh no, we do have to use end out, don't we? Very well. Actually, no, we don't, because I'm doing RN on there, so it should do that for me. We'll see what happens. Alright, no errors in compiling. That's good. Okay. Now we need to go to containing folder, debug, and we should have a test file here. Yay, we got some interesting stuff here. What's going on? GRS and R. Doesn't seem right. What's be going on? Okay. Couch HP str. Couch SP str. That might be the RNs, I'm not sure. This might be different from the way that C# outputs text to files, file reader and writer. Right, so well, it's different. Actually, we didn't get any. Oh, because we didn't do a pause. Crap. It's still outputting incorrectly, though. Alright, this again, still getting used to putting this in, so you put it in pretty quickly. 2, 4, 8, 8. 2, and damn it, 5. No, yeah, it is. Wow, CNE. That's actually what they're coming out as. That is interesting. Oh, right. These are incident strings, so we need to just string them. I bet that's what it is. Right. 10, well, that's a 1. It's gonna be kind of weird now. 2, 4, 8, 2, and 5. Yay, negative numbers. How did we get to negative numbers? So apparently something wasn't getting set somewhere. So something happened, an event happened, we don't know what. So this one was obviously probably a small increase. So it went up by 14. Or no, a medium increase. This one though was what? It might have been from a carriage return that got put in there when we were entering it in incorrectly. So let's try this again and try not to screw up entering these things. It could also be from like some sort of invalid. Well, it shouldn't. If it's not 0, if it's less than 0, it shouldn't be adding it. So that shouldn't be the case. That's kind of interesting. Oh, I bet it was a decrease. That's what happened. For the HP. It's kind of interesting, though. So you could have higher MP or SP than MP. SP than HP. Potentially. That is interesting. Of course, that's using the whatchamacallit. As an example. What we need to do now is do an actual test of it. Over, say, 500 levels. Let me check what's getting output here. Yeah, good. Oh, it's adding an extra line, but whatever. Alright, so we're going to try this over 500 levels now. So the max starting out with will be 1 and 1. Job ID 0 still. Commit rate still. So small. We're going to change how this is working now. Since we're going over 500 levels, we're going to have a larger amount of space in between. So I want to make these a bit larger. So we're going to say that the small will start with 25. We'll start with 45 and then 65. Then I'll go for 35, 55, and 75. 2, 4, and 8 still, and between 10 and 25 levels. Alright, so let's have a look here. It's definitely, up until here, SP becomes larger than MP, HP. Not really sure how I feel about that, and then it happens again. And then, yeah, we're still getting into negatives here. Wow. So, how does that happen? Obviously, we're getting an invalid value from somewhere. and it's only on a certain event that's happening on. So there's got to be something in here. So val base from large val inc. Well, let's do this. So it might be coming from here for whatever reason. Actually, it could be coming. No, it shouldn't be coming from here because again, if it's less than 0, we're just saving 0 back to the value base. So here's what we can do. We know it's on one of these. So if start HP val is less than 0. Count level HP event type. And we'll just do the same thing for SP. This way, if and when the SP or HP values go negative, we can actually see what event's been called and try and work backwards to see what happened. Alright, so once again we'll go 500, 1, 1, 0, 25, 45, 65, 35, 55, 75. 2, 4 is 8, and 10 to 25. Interesting. So the first time it happens is on 3. And then after that it's always negative because of that. So what is number 3? 3 is going to be 4, which is large val increase. And so what happens there? So val base equals dot rand, get I rand from range, large val inc. Then val base if multi-boost is greater than 0, then if true, add multi-boost and not add 0. Increase rate plus val base equals update val. So I'm gonna say maybe it's something wrong with this. Maybe we're not setting that up correctly, or at all, or something. So min. Maybe it's not getting passed through correctly. Not sure. Count large min. Alright, let's see what we get out of that. Okay, so update val. I'm not outputting the update val. So that's correct. 6575 val base 67. MB is 0, which is fine. Could it be the ink rate? No, it's the it's the reassign. It's the assignment to the update val. That's weird. Ink rate is 1. Update val is fine. And then, or wait, now it's getting called on 1. Oh wait, that shouldn't be, let's see, 1? But that's getting called, this is getting called, so that's not right. So, small value increase, increment value decrease. Okay, yeah, 4 is 5. So every time this starts coming up again, it's on 1, which shouldn't be the case because that's only for 3. Wow. And they all have breaks, break, and break. So not dropping through or anything like that. Let's see. Now we got some. Probably didn't use the right. Okay. So event type -1. That's fine. So 3, event type 4. Okay, so that comes. Okay, that gets called after. That makes sense. So now it's definitely on this for some reason. Why is this like that though? Update val. So what about update val? Let's replace this. What if this is already messed up, in other words, for some reason? Let's just do 100. Easier to 1 1 0 1 1 25 45 65. Interesting. So it does go negative, then the 400 was called again, so we don't really know. This seems to be working though at this point, and then at some point it just becomes a negative value, for whatever reason. Huh, that is interesting. Let me put a breakpoint here with a condition. Condition, so whenever this becomes less than 0, and there's a negative number, we'll then be able to tell up here. Alright, so UDP is now negative. Event type is 3. So 0, 2, 3. Ink rate. Oh, that's interesting. Ink rate is messed up. So that's what happens. This doesn't unfortunately tell you if it's HP or SP. So whenever we're updating the ink rate, somehow it gets messed up. So it's on one of these two. Set a condition, or maybe even both. When so on the increase, at least that's where it first happens at in this run. So increase rate plus plus. So if we change this to +1 and -1. And that's just an equals, that's fine. Alright, 200, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 25, 45, 65, 35, 55, 75, 2, 4, 8, 10, and 25. Okay, I think that was it. We were trying, the plus plus minus minus doesn't work when you're using a pointer apparently. Good to know. So that'll fix that then. Don't need any of this. Get rid of all that crap. Okay. So let's go ahead and do a full one of these here. So in this case, let's say we're doing high swordman. All right, now starting HP will be 10. Let's say 3. Job value, of course, is 4001. Increment will be 3 and then 1 for SP. Increase value. So 34, we'll say 35, 60, and 80. And then 47, 85, and 110. 2, 4, and 8. And then every 25 to 50 levels. So let's see what that gave us in output wise. Oh, I closed it. Alright, so 1013. Oh wow. 2000. So yeah, there's definitely still some kinks to work out here and there. However, that's for the HP. That's pretty close to where you want it at actually. For the SP, we got some issues. I think it has to do with the division. I think when we divide it by a certain amount, it just goes crazy. There's probably a large increase divided by the job ID and turn into a multiplication or something. I'm not sure. So we may have to do a check in here to say if the job value is larger than the well, in this case, it should always be lower. So multi-boost. We have the calculator here. Or is it closed it? No. So let's say, for example, we had 43 for the value, the starting value, plus the job ID, which is 4001. And let's say it's large. So the multi-boost would be, or the multi-value would be 8 in that case. And then plus, so it was up to 120 or something like that. It's set 80 something to 120. Let's say it's 105. So at most it should be 684 or 648 or something like that. Somehow it's getting like multiplied, if that's even a word. So val base great. That'll be something I'll have to look into. But as far as how it executes and how it logically works, it's working fine. It's just that there's some weirdness in here that I have to figure out. Once that's figured out, though, I could use it. Cool. So I could take this now. Let's use this for an example. Now I can just grab it out of here, go over to the Excel file. I'll throw it into here. And there you go. There's my 1,000 levels of HP increase. So I did also, oops, cancel, I don't want to do that. Let's see. I did also mention I wanted to kind of show you how the new functionality works. So for that, let me see. First of all, I need to do a little bit of maintenance because I have some files that I have from when I was down the other place that I saved into here through TeamViewer that I need to kind of update. Here we go. I can just say I have them here. So, for example, so here's how it works. So these aren't here originally; they get created, but so whatever. Eventually it'll only put out whatever you're adding. So, like for example, it's not going to create a file that has nothing in it. For now, it's just doing that. But so, for example, I was updating my human mobs, and so here are the records that I modified at the point in time that I had uploaded this back over to here. Actually, I'll need to get back onto my laptop and grab the newer files on it to put back over here because this is only a small portion of them. But as you can see now here, so we have them in the proper format for the source file, and they have all the updated values. If you look at these well, it's actually probably not a good example because these should not be updated, or they should be updated. They shouldn't be the old versions. Let me see. Yeah. So let's just real quick jump out of there to tools, to here, to SQL, to custom mobs, and then to 41. So here, for example, you can see here now we have 600, 0, 30, 20, blah, 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 blah. And so on. Like, for example, magician, female magician is 16, 420, 200. Female magician down here now is 16, 1, 1050, 490, 87, 35. So you can see how they're different. So just updating it's very simple. You just grab all this, depending on your file editor, obviously. And it's down to Acolyte, right? Yeah. So you just select your rows and then you paste over them, and there you have it. You now have updated your source file with your newly updated file, mob or item records, and you don't have to do any manual typing or anything like that. Just copy, select the ones you're going to replace, and paste over them. So yeah, there's a lot. The item IDs and the card IDs are all messed up. To fix those for everything. Some of them don't even have them because I didn't have them at the time, I guess. The cards created for them at the time. So that's why I wanted to create something like that, because modifying all these individually by changing the values from the update, whereas in the update file, the gen folder files just have the fields you're updating, not everything, so you can't really tell where they're at on this flat file kind of structure, because you really don't know unless you've memorized the structure of the database table, which I haven't after using it for working with it for what would it be, 4 years now total. I still haven't memorized the structure of it really, so it's just a lot easier to do it that way. I toyed around with rewriting this file with the new ones in it, but again, it just didn't seem really very efficient to do it that way. So that's what that new gen stuff I was talking about during the first video was about. And those get generated after you click on the generate files on the. Just in case you don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, where is the? Wow, the exe file is gone. That is amazing. Okay, well, let's go over here then, because I know it's over here. So, when you do all your edits and everything, you go to File, and you're done, you come back out here to go to File, Generate Files, and then when you click on either one of these, but it only works for SQL right now, it'll process the gen folder files, generation path files, which does your insert and update statements for SQL, and then it will do the processing to create these gend files in the source folder for you to update your source files with. So yeah, this is coming along pretty good. I'm not sure I'm going to do direct database editing with this. I mean, if that's going to be there, why use this? Why not use the whatchamacallit, the workbench. This is meant to allow you to generate. This will. I decided not to do that, so it's just going to be to generate the insert or update statements that you can then run in the workbench to update your database with. It won't actually have a direct database editing kind of tool in it. And of course, for the flat file side of things, generating the flat file entries as well. But again, the flat file stuff hasn't been added in yet, so that's the next task that I have to do on that, and then this will be pretty close to, I think, done. I'm going to do some graphics and things to put into there, but other than that, this will be pretty much functionally what it's going to be when I release it. So, as for GeoRo, still a lot of work to do. A lot more than I initially thought, because I kind of let it sort of fly by me that all the custom mobs had to be fixed because the drop IDs for them, if they were custom items, aren't going to be correct. There's quite a bit of them, as you can see. Plan to add more human mobs for the third Transcend classes. Then I need to go through and continue working on all the item quest NPCs to do all that. And once all that's done, I can then open up the server and have people come in and start beta testing. So I don't know when that'll be. Maybe July or August, maybe September. Depends on how much time I have and to work on this and how much I utilize that time to work on it instead of doing something else. But that'll be the stream for the night. Again, rest tier stream will probably happen on Monday or Tuesday of next week. I'm going to try and just stream till it's done. So we'll see what happens with that. And then from there it'll be a while. I'll post up the trailer for Crimson Echoes, and then we'll start doing the Crimson Echoes walkthrough. I am still pretty much almost done with it. I haven't done any other work on it since I last mentioned it on the last live stream. I thought about recording the rest of it while I was down there again this last time, but then I thought, you know what, I actually want to record some of this stuff on this bloody computer just so it's not so laggy sometimes, because that laptop gets sort of laggy because it's kind of a piece of crap laptop from 2007. It only has like a 1.4 gigahertz processor in it. It's one of those compact, those false advertisement compact systems where they said it was Vista ready, where it had the RAM, but the CPU was like on the minimum requirements of it. So yeah, it's pretty bad sometimes. That on top of that, though, I think the RAM's also starting to go back, because occasionally it's blue screening when memory is being unloaded. So that's the state of that. I'm not sure about any other live stream between now and the rest tier one. There might be some, there may not. I might do some SO3. I know I've said that a billion times, not followed through on it, but I might do some of that for this weekend, maybe. We will have to see. So until the next stream, this is GeoWill, and I will see you later.